What's going on, guys? It is CA Trades from 11 Trading here, and today we are coming with a fairly basic video on liquidity and structure. Hopefully by the end of this video you'll be able to use these concepts in your trading to further progress your career. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So what is liquidity? Liquidity is the life and blood of the market. In order for the market to move, it must take liquidity. It seeks liquidity on both ends of the market. Now you might ask, what actually is liquidity? In simple form, liquidity equals money. So it is just money resting in the market in buy or sell orders with stop losses, which it needs to take in order to move. So this is an example of a bullish trend. So we've been creating higher highs and higher lows, higher high, and then what's happened here? We've come down, we've swept out this low, and we've expanded on. Now what this means is people that were buying this market would have been entering it. They would have had their stop losses just below the low, and they would have been expecting price to tap them in and continue off like this. But that is not what happened, because that's not how the market solely moves. The market needs liquidity to expand. It needs to take traders' money via stop losses to expand. So it has come down, it has knocked them out of their positions. They were right about the market direction, they were just too early. So it has taken them out of their positions. It has knocked their stop loss, being a liquidity sweep. It has swept this low and then expanded following the market trend. That is, in basic terms, what liquidity is. Now in a bearish market it is the same, it is just opposite. So people would have been selling the market. They would have had their stop losses above the high, and they would have been expecting a continuation of a bearish market. But we haven't taken any liquidity. The market has not taken liquidity. So what it would do really, it would come and knock their stop losses out, taking their money and using it as fuel to expand following the market's trend. So that is, in simple terms, what liquidity is and how the markets move. So there is only one type of liquidity, but there is multiple ways in which liquidity will present itself. I just give you an example of stop loss liquidity. But if we just move up here I have an example of session liquidity. So this is Asia, London and New York session. This happens every single day. It is just the time of days that certain traders are awake around the world where they are trading. They are buying and selling the markets. So what usually happens with Asian session, it doesn't really do much. It normally just consolidates. It's not trending bullish or bearish, it's just simply moving sideways. Now, like I said, we can't expand properly to a given direction without taking liquidity. And while we are consolidating, we are generating liquidity below and above the highs and lows. So when this session came to an end, London session opened, it manipulated down, knocking all of the buyers that were trying to buy Asia session, all of them out, hitting their stop losses. It used all of that session liquidity as fuel to expand. Now, as you can see, we're in London now. There would be sell side liquidity resting below this low and buy side liquidity resting above London high. Now, what happened? New York session opened, it swept London high, taking that buy side liquidity, and it used it as fuel to reverse and seek opposing liquidity, which would be London low. The market is literally a liquidity search and destroy machine. It is how it moves. So not only do we have session liquidity, it also presents itself in daily high or lows, weekly high or lows, or monthly high or lows. So just after London session, we have a previous weekly high. Now, if we was to go off real left, and this was a real chart example, there'd be a structural high in the previous week. That as New York opened, not only did it sweep London high, it swept the previous weekly high. Now, because this is a previous weekly high, it holds more significance. It's not just sweeping the London session high, it's taken the liquidity from the previous weekly high. So the high of the whole of last week, it has taken that liquidity, and that is now fueling a reversal. So I hope that makes somewhat sense. Any questions, again, you can drop them in the Discord. Ask any questions. So how would we trade this? How would we trade this? Say we wake up in the morning, we see Asia session has consolidated. And as we wake up, London trading has opened. We see manipulation down, sweeping Asia liquidity. We then see a break of structure. The sweep has now caused a break of structure, closing above Asia high. We would then wait for a retest into the Asia consolidation. We would enter our buy positions from here, and we would ride. At this point, we could have been targeting previous weekly high. So we would ride it up to previous weekly high. Our TP would have been hit. New York sessions opened. It has now changed character, closing below this low. We could then wait for a retest into an order block and continuation, seeking opposing liquidity. So I'm just going to give you another example. So I'm just going to give you another example. We've had our consolidation, which could be Asia session, or it could just be a consolidation. We've had our sweep, sweeping out the liquidity below the consolidation. We have then had big explosive movement, breaking structure. Now we would wait for a retest of the order block that created the break of structure, being here. And at this point, we could set our long position, stop below the low, and continue with the market trend. And target opposing liquidity, which at the moment would be this high. So now we would expect price to continue on. Continue on to opposing liquidity. That is as simple as it gets. So I hope that has broken it down a little bit more for you, for the beginners in the Discord. Any questions regarding this, please feel free to send them our way. We will get back to you ASAP. Thank you very much, and we will see you in the next video.